And shall we? I feel like I'm going to need this large one today. Jesus. Cheers to me. I probably got more on the table than I got in the cup. Unbelievable. But I have to save this last one because that is the killer whiskey. That's the one that you drink one sip and you're out for the next 12 hours. One thing I can say though, I will probably never go ahead and finish that bottle off in any given day or two. Sometimes I'll get these bottles, I'll drink it down to about 40-50% after the first live stream. By the next live stream, the bottle's all gone. Hey, what's up, Ross, man? Oh, God. I love doing these live streams, but there has got to be a better way. Top shelf. Yeah, man, pretty much. I wanted to get the big one out because this was today's choice, the Ole Smoky Tennessee Moonshine, but it's pretty much 95% cherries. All of the actual whiskey in here is gone. So I only had like a very, small amount of Smoky or Ole Smoky left. Now I think this will do the trick. And even the cherries themselves are going to be like really, whiskey or moonshine flavored. So, I mean, you can just eat the cherries and get drunk off of that. But in case I don't close out the live stream on my normal, flying high spirits, that baby right there will do the trick in no time. Oh, not good. Oh, that stuff's not good. Had my gridlock from last week, but this thing is like, 90% empty already. All right. Hey, Rick, what's up, bud? I actually was at that distillery in, oh, yep, that's exactly where it's from, too. Gatlinburg. I know I saw that on here. Oh, here it is. Yep. Gattingburg. Or is that an L? No, I think is that Gattingberry. Yeah, well, my eyes suck as much as my memories, so I tell you, going to the eye doctor and getting that surgery was like the worst damn choice of my life, man. I didn't even have to wear glasses. I could, I could see just fine. Now, if something was like a million miles away, yeah, I probably couldn't read it, but getting that surgery, not going through a regular doctor's, but going through the army hospital to get it done, to get eye surgery was a bonehead move. But I went from having a really good vision to basically sucking for like 5 years. Over the last 10, I'd say, each year. Hell, nowadays it's like each month, each week, the vision gets worse and worse. It's like I know by age 50 I'm going to be blind. Here is the creepy part. We dropped my wife dropped something on the floor. I think we had a grocery delivery, and it was like a paper towel, like a paper bag, little small thin piece, yay big. There were two of them that fell on the floor. I saw the first one, I picked it up, but I'm looking in basically the exact same spot the other one was for this other piece that fell down, and I didn't see it. I'm gonna ask my wife, hey, you know where she points out? It's like literally right there near my feet. I look down, I don't see it. But I bend down to the tile to see if I could find it or reach for it. Closer, closer, closer. I'm about that far off the ground when I enter the shadow part of the floor. And this is broad spank in daylight, right? And that little shadow that formed from the corner of the pantry, the bottom of the counter. I could not see that item, that little brown, whatever the hell it was, uh, in that shadow. And I noticed probably a week or two ago when my wife and I were driving, uh, probably last week, because I think it was when we took the babies to the overnight care or emergency care. What's it called? 24-hour emergency source. Um, so we took the babies to the hospital and we were driving. Obviously, it's like midnight, and there's this car in front of us. We're at a red light. My wife's getting closer and closer, but she's starting to slow down and slow down. And it's basically not until like we're almost on the ass of this car do I finally see the red lights on the back of the car. And I'm like, God damn, am I turning into my mom now? Uh, Watching my mom back in like the 90s, early 2000s when we were kids, right? And watching her drive, like we got all the kids in the back and she's driving. I'm like, and she'd be screaming over, can I get over? Can I get over? Oh my God, I can't see. And I'm like, oh my God, that damn thing, that same image popped into my head when we pulled up to this car that was sitting in front of us. I'm like, I'm turning into my mom. I'm gonna be yelling at my wife and to kind of guide me over because night driving is just not gonna be for me, I guess. Well, damn, that pretty much takes away a lot of career opportunities I was hoping to have. Gonna basically turn myself into the opposite equivalent of a vampire. Can only go out during the day. Oh my God, I'm just getting that image of my mom right now. Oh, we're screaming over, right? Can I get over? Always the same thing. It's not so much, screaming, hey, can we guide her? Can we tell her it's empty, it's free, no cars are coming, you can get over. But that fact that she always had to put that extra emphasis, I can't see. It's like, dude, what the hell are you driving a damn van full of kids if you can't see? My mom was funny as hell, though. One of these days, I want to just have a casual phone conversation with my mom and just film it. Nothing special about it. Not going to ask any particular questions or anything stupid like that. Just it could be just a hey, how's the weather by you type of scenario, and just see how the conversation carries. My God, my talking to my mom all the time, I leave with such headaches. But it's like um, it's like watching the cartoon movie Home. Can I come into the out now? Or whatever, basically the way that talks, the way that the little aliens talk, right? So that type of stuff. That's how I kind of look at my mom. How we would not laugh at her to embarrass her, but laugh at her because it's like it's funny, it's entertaining. No matter how ridiculous it is. There's this married couple on TikTok I see all the time, and this guy he always asks his wife, his blonde wife, of course, stereotype. Simple questions like, I don't know what's a good example. Like, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. But he doesn't film his videos to embarrass her, and I'm pretty sure that she's part of what goes into it and all of that, right? But their videos got to get millions of views, man. That stuff is hilarious. I can't do that stuff with my wife. She would never go for it, but that would be amazing. And I'm back to ignoring my viewers because I can't shut the hell up. So I am going to go back to these responses. I'm sorry. uh, Actually, what's the distiller? Yep, we look at that. Amazing. Gatlinburg. So it's Gatlinburg. So I was saying it correctly. I swear to God, that's not what this looks like, though. Yeah, see, the damn writing. Well, the G itself looks like an S, right? Well, I'm pretty sure you can't make it out, but the G looks like an S. The second T for, or the second, the GAT and then the L. The T and the L, they look like two T's. So it's like, and then the G at the end, that could be a G, that could be a Y. It's like, oh, goddamn. I could not imagine living during that period. Even as early as, let's say, early 1900s, when people still had that sort of penmanship, which is beautiful and everything, but my God, it's a lot of the time it's impossible to read, especially when folks were using feathers to write letters and stuff, right? But like I said, the penmanship back in the days were freaking amazing. Alrighty. I'll be getting a big gold NWO World Heavyweight Championship belt soon. Yeah, who'd you beat, buddy? Kidding. Yeah, man. I saw your message over on Rebels channel, and I'm like, oh man, that's freaking awesome. You know, I'm not a belt collector, but there was one. What was it? I want to say it was a tag team belt. It was like a brown tag team belt. The belt itself was made out of foam, with the front faceplate being like plastic. Now, I got on eBay probably a year plus ago, year and a half, whenever. It just like kind of sits off on the shelf on the side, out of the way, out of mind type of deal. And the only reason I bought that is because I talked about it before. When we were kids, you know, around 1990, 91, they came out with these white foam championship belts. And then you had the face plate in the middle, and then two smaller plates on the sides. And, you know, for us three boys, my mom bought, you know, two belts. Well, one of those belts, either the side plates fell off one side and it didn't, or fell off on both sides. I think it was only one side. And because we didn't have a Intercontinental champion, we just used that damaged one as our Intercontinental championship belt. And we, like I said, it was me and my two brothers in the house. Yes, I have more siblings, but that's basically the brunt of it. The Watson kids, or at least my mom's Watson kids. Not as long of a story as I'm making it out to be. I'll explain in a few if I don't forget. If I don't know what the hell's flying around here. If I don't forget, or if I do forget. Wait, what was I talking about? Watson kids. Jesus Christ. Jeez. All right. If I ever lose my mind and or forget who I am, etc., somebody please send these videos to the VA and tell them he told you so. My final words. All right. Championship belts. Jesus Christ. So we had those two white foam ones as kids. So when I bought the brown belt, it was very similar looking to it. One of the early 1990, 92 era WWF belts you probably got from the magazine. But my freaking brother, like my older brother, you know, he was a little bit bigger. You know, definitely weighed a whole lot more than most of us. So he was like always, you know, heavyweight champion. And whenever like the big kids, like his friends would come over, he would wrestle them. He, you know, usually he'd win. And this wasn't something like, hey, you know, you do little meager body slams. We beat the hell out of each other when we were kids. No, obviously we had like this back porch in my house that my mom had built, and we used to use that. It was a perfect square. So, I mean, it made a perfect wrestling ring. Now there are points where like you kind of like jump up the ropes, so to speak, when you got you got one of your brothers in the corner, and you're like, I mean, obviously you're holding back. You're not full on punching them in the face, but you know, stuff like that you hold back on because you're not trying to kill anybody. But if we kept watching into our teen years and later, I could have seen us doing some crazy crap like laying out some barbed wire on like the darn wooden bench outside and then doing like a suplex off the top rope type of deal. I just think we were crazy enough to do stupid stuff like that. Probably lost a lot of my brain cells doing a lot of that early wrestling back in the day. But whether it's me, my younger brother, some of the other kids, again, if the other kids in the neighborhood, if they ever won any of the belts, they might hold on to it for like a day or at the end of that session, that playtime, whatever, we would bring the belt back to our house. And whenever we had matches again, you just hand it off. But maybe they didn't hold on to it for a night or so because I kind of don't remember that happening, but it's possible. I don't know. My brother's older friends are here, bigger than him, maybe heavier, whatnot. They wrestled a lot. They're good friends and whatnot. And Richard usually won those matches, but Zahir, he made like this cardboard cutout and turned that, wrote on it, marker, whatever, and made his own championship belt. And I kind of feel like I look at wrestling nowadays, there should only be like three, in my opinion, three titles in WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. Your heavyweight title, your intercontinental title, your tag team titles. That's all you need. So when you start throwing out like 25 other championship belts that these companies have because they want all of their stars to be champions, right? It's a waste. It makes the title seem useless. It makes the title seem like it. Like, hey, here's a coupon to Red Lobster for $15 off. Thanks, but when the heck am I ever going to go to Red Lobster? And that's about as important as the championship belts have turned out to be nowadays because everybody's a freaking champion. I kept telling my bosses when I first got to Kentucky back at the end of 2017 and in 2018 when I was having my issues with him, I'm like, hey, I thought I was being, hired for this lead position. I get here and, I'm thinking I'm going to be like manager or something like that. And I had a lot of nerves, moving here and taking the job and whatnot, going to work that first day because I thought I was going to be a lead over like, handful of people or so. When I got there, outside of the actual property manager himself, everybody else that worked in that department were, senior property administrators. And I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted. I mean, I gave up a good job in Afghanistan to take this position. The pay was great, but like I thought it was going to do something for me professionally where I could say, fine, I'm finally a manager, finally a boss. So if I ever need to move up the company or go to another company, hey, I got that leadership experience. But no, basically in an office where everyone is senior, nobody is senior. Nobody has a higher rank than anyone else. So I look at championship belts nowadays in kind of the same way. When everyone has a belt, the whole purpose of the championship, it kind of seems lackluster and doesn't really mean as much. Man, how do I have these spinoffs, man? Like, how does my mind work? Like, I know, if I recall correctly, I know we were talking about championship belts, and I kind of spinned off to the type of belts I had as a kid and somehow ended up being part of this whole spew about actual wrestling championship belts and wrestling. Wow. I'm just all over the place. I need to write this stuff down, but it's always sort of a, on the fly type of deal with these live streams, right? But then again, none of my stuff is planned. It just kind of go with the flow type of deal. See what sticks. Right. Okay, I scrolled too far back. I feel you. The eye patch ain't no gimmick, man. I hope the eyes are. Yeah, man. When I saw that video, and we kind of talked about it a little bit today. I came across this. It was like it looked like a 1700s, like maybe a 1770s to like 1790s pirate, and it had like this beautiful American colors scheme in the background and whatnot. And I'm like, when Jason Nupp and I have our 2 pack set out, I didn't want a soldier me to be portrayed. I didn't want the devil version portrayed because I wanted a 3 pack with the devil me, bone breaking action, and Sin Bodhi. Because the face paint of Sin Bodhi, the devil look with me, and the whole luchador mask with BBA. Oh my god, a 3 pack would have been incredible. But a 3 pack of LJNs would have stretched about that wide. So how do you create cards that are yay big? When I wanted to do the 2 pack with me and BBA, you know, I'll get a package, BBA will get his own package. Well, it'll be, on this side, maybe double me on this side, it'll be bone breaking action. But again, the package would have been like yay big. And how do you do that? We really couldn't. So I do think that Sin is going to go ahead and he has obviously created these card backs for individual figures, and they're beautiful. The guy I talked to at Alibaba, I provided that information because I do want to get this first figure knocked out and get the first 500 units. Like I said, when it comes to that particular line, to the Maniac Riot Wrestling line, I do not want to do pre-orders. I don't want to be one of those guys that, like, what is it when was it Harley Quinn when Scarecrow unmasked Batman and the Joker got all pissed off because he didn't want to know who Batman was. It was part of their relationship, right? But then he goes, he grabs Bruce, like, "Where's my electric car, Bruce? Where's my electric car? You promised it would be out last year." Something to that effect, I don't know. But if you watch that scene, I think it was Harley Quinn. It could have been just a regular animated Batman movie, but I think it was the TV show Harley Quinn. That's gotta be like one of the funniest damn things in the world. Joker's not even mad at him because he's the Batman. He's pissed off at him now, seeing him as nothing other than Bruce Wayne. And the first thing you talk about is an electric car. That, to me, just did not scream Joker at all. But that whole entire moment was just perfection. So I don't want to do pre-orders. I don't want people waiting for the stuff. I mean, I want to tell people about it. I want people to know that it's coming, obviously. But I don't want to, charge anybody for it because I don't. What if something goes wrong and it gets pushed back? And I'm thinking, okay, 6 months, and it gets pushed back, and now we're looking at a year. And now all those buyers are pissed off because, hey, this son of a gun just screwed us out of our money. When technically, no, it's not screwed out. You're still getting a product. I just got to wait for the damn factory, right? That's why I'm like, I'm not doing that. At the very least, with the first figure, New Age Revolution, it is going to be a single pack, and if that sells really well, and it's a hit, okay, I've gone through the process one time with this first figure. I know what to expect, and if it sells for the amount of money that I want to get for it, that might allow me to buy 2 more figures the second time. So I'll have BBA and maybe the double me as the second and third release. So maybe then I could take pre-orders because people know the line and they might be interested at that point. So that might happen. But I also got to create my own company now, right? So I have a website that people could go buy the stuff. I mean, are people going to be comfortable if I say, "Oh yeah, you could buy it from me, but you got to PayPal the money to this, email account"? And what about PayPal? If people if they send it through goods and services and not friends and family, right? Is there a limit to how much money you can receive through PayPal? Because I obviously never hit no threshold on PayPal before. But if, let's say, 20 people, buy $100 figure, that's $2,000. What if that's 200 people? Now you got $20,000. I mean, is $20,000 too high for 1 year? I mean, again, these are questions I have to ask myself because this isn't stuff I've dealt with before. But it's nice to kind of think about, have all these questions, and that way you can answer them before it gets to that point. Now, if I got to hire somebody to kind of build me a website so that I can sell it on that website, I mean, that would be preferable, obviously. But if I just say, you know what, just, here's your email, have them PayPal you, it's quick and easy. And I don't have to pay anyone for a website, and I don't have to, I mean, does it cost money to have a website up? I assume you got to go out and you got to get a legalized name for the website and everything. So admin. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe PayPal it is. Shoot. But I really can't say anything until that first figure comes out. This is all hearsay. This is all just talk. These are plans. These are hopeful. These are expectations, but maybe nothing at all comes of it. And if nothing comes of it, it was fun talking about it while it lasted. But if I'm able to get even one single figure out, though, that to me, I will consider that to be a success. And like I guys, man, if it weren't for you guys, man, shoot, like I probably wouldn't have gone wholehearted at this, but I could see your guys' interest, and the fact that you're as interested in it as I am, that's amazing. So I definitely want to try and get something out for at least one figure for you guys, and maybe you'll love it, maybe you'll hate it, but the first design, the first figure that we're going to look at, it's of a very beloved character and a very beloved design from the original LJN line. So I think that particular figure will be just fine for any collector. And given the fact that it's a very popular 80s guy, it should definitely sell. And that's the hope. Oh, that's another thing. If we do have any new viewers tuning in today, I did put out about a week ago, or yeah, I'd say almost a week ago, a blurred picture from Sin Bodhi. So those are the four newest figures that I'm adding to the collection. And one of them, you'll notice, well, that's the thing. I don't want to talk about it yet. I kind of put up a notification that said this Saturday I was going to do a live stream where I was going to showcase the newest figures for the Maniac Riot wrestling line. I haven't gotten those figures yet. So maybe if Sin has sent them out already, maybe I'll have them by next Saturday, hopefully. But here's the additional problem. BBA has to be, there should be two extra figures, an extra BBA figure and an extra 80s Revolution figure. Technically, there might be 4 extra figures because I paid for two packs. So I might actually get 4 figures. Damn, I gotta talk to him about that because I've just spent so much money. I can't even remember all the things I paid for. How crazy is that? But it might actually be 4 figures, not 2 that I'm expecting. Yeah, I gotta look that up. But I might want to send it out to them that way they have their figure, and we can do like a dual live stream or what have you, and that way we, like, if I'm doing a dual live stream with BBA, he and I can hold up the BBA action figure, kind of talk about it and whatnot, and or maybe we could if it's a 2-pack, then he'll get both his figure and mine. But unfortunately, I don't have them in yet, so For those who are tuning in for this video specifically to see the new figures, unfortunately, I don't have them. So it might be next Saturday, or it could be the following Wednesday or Thursday. Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, because I think that's when BBA said he's off work. And I definitely want to include him on, that box opening, so to speak. I think it's pretty awesome. And if he has any recommendations, while reviewing his figure, that can go into my plans with creating the line, of course. But all right. Let's see. Where did I feel that? All right, Dwayne. I started talking about the pirate, and I'm like, you know what, bud? You have such a keen look. And I looked at you. I looked at that pirate. I'm like, you kind of mentioned, the eye patch. It is real. It's not. What did you say? It wasn't a prop or something like that. But yeah, we had the little pirate grr pop up in the video. I laughed at that. But I'm like, you know what? It got me thinking. Who needs a third me figure in the line, right? My whole concept is creating this line based on YouTubers who follow wrestling or have something to do wrestling related in their channels, right? So forget a third figure of me. This man has the perfect look for it. He could probably pull it off a million times better than I could. All I got to show for is the damn Billy Goat, right? But why not a Bums Wrestling action figure? Now, obviously, we want these figures to be designed based on the actual person and everything, but in some respect. But either way, I mean, as a sort of gimmick type, I think that would be pretty amazing. Then we got to think weapons, though. I mean, do you put like a sword in there or what? Or do we just say, no, that's too darn gimmicky? This doesn't need accessories. We definitely got to have the bet. We definitely have to have a good fighting pose on that figure, because I kind of feel like, based on that look, if Sin can replicate that look identically, you're potentially talking about what could become my favorite figure ever. I mean, that's why the pose for that has to be perfect. And it has to be a pose that actually fits the figure, or the design and aesthetic of the figure. Because most people are gonna say Hulk Hogan or Greg Valentine or something, right? But I don't know if either of those poses would necessarily work for that overall look. Hey, what's happening, Will? All right. Mom sounds like a cool lady. uh, let me tell you about my mom. My mom is insane. Or this could just be a feminine gene type of thing. I don't know, man. Because my wife kind of acts the same way sometimes. But with my wife, for example, she just doesn't answer. If I ask her a question, she just simply doesn't answer. Especially if she thinks I'm being like, if she feels like I'm being dramatic, or if I'm being like antagonizing or something. But it's like, was there or was there not $5 in the bank account just this morning? Oh God. Could you imagine, man, getting into an argument over $5? Hey, I've done worse for $5 though. I've done worse to get into an argument for a single dollar. That story will never be told, except to my wife, who still holds it over my head to this day. Sometimes when you make a deal with people, you could say, okay, I'll do this for $10, but are they going to pay you $10? You could say, hey, I'll do this for $5, but will they pay you $5? And considering that this particular event happened during basic training, okay, like, hey, I'll do this stupid thing for $1. one, you kind of weren't expecting anything bad to happen. Two, it was funny as hell. And three, hey, I made a buck. That was my thought. That was that was my mindset at 19 years old. God damn. But no, we probably will not. I went from we're never going to talk about it to we're probably going to talk about it. But we're probably not going to talk about that tonight or hopefully at any other time. Right. God damn, how did I miss so much? All right, video, do not shit out on me because I really want to get to these questions. Will mom be a guest on your live stream? That would be funny as dude. I can't even get my own wife to be a guest on my live stream. But if my mom does come to visit one day, I think that would be freaking funny as hell. That would be freaking hilarious. Uh, Talking to my mom I'm asking her a question and she doesn't understand the word, so maybe I start spelling it out to her, and then maybe she's writing it down or something, or maybe I'm giving her an address or what have you. I don't know. And she's reading it back to me, and I'm like, no, that's not correct. I'm saying the letters that she's not hearing me or understanding me. So I militarily give her the military alphabet: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, etc. Uh, and so I start saying these letters like Blazer, Bravo, Lima, Alpha, Zulu, India, Echo, I forgot my address. Echo Romeo. Jesus Christ, I'm not even that drunk yet. I don't know what the hell's going on with this live stream, but I'll start giving her the military phonetic alphabet, and instead of writing down the address, whatever, she'll sit there and bust my balls like boy, lion, animal. Like, what the hell are you doing? Just giving me this random stuff. I'm like, Jesus, you just do what I ask, mother. But no, man, freaking mama, like that would be funny as hell to have her get. I've never seen my mom drink, but you know what? I would love to see her drunk and just fucking sit down and have conversations, like childhood conversations, because like just have her talk about like before my apartment that I remember growing up in Chicago was on a street called Francisco, and I probably lived there till age 5, 6, something like that. I don't know. Like I don't really remember any other place that we lived. Like that was the apartment for me. For all I know, we could have only been there for a year or less. But that to me was the childhood apartment. At the years I could actually start remembering, which is around age 5, right? So there was a place that my mom used to live, I think, with my dad. I think it was on a street called Ashland. So I would like to hear more of those Ashland stories. Or maybe she lived there with her first husband. I don't remember. But and then we're going to have a discussion about why did she throw away all my damn toys? Why did she throw away all my VHS tapes? Or whatever I had left behind, man. I'm like, dude, you freaking see what those damn things are selling for nowadays? Oh, insane. Around 80s or 90s, you go to like Kmart, Ventures, one of these type of stores, right? Could you imagine looking back like JC Penney, whatever store sells electronics, and seeing a VCR back in the day sell for like around $379? I'm like, there's no effing way that we were paying that much money for a VCR. Like, I don't even think Blu-ray players were that expensive when they came out. DVD players, I doubt it. Like, I don't remember paying $300+ for a. But of course, I don't remember spending that much. And we had a bunch of VCRs in our house, so. But that's insane. Ugh. think it might be all out of my. Nope, there's a little bit of juice left in there. But yeah, all the VCRs that my wife and I had, a lot of the electronics, TVs, tube TVs, little small TVs with the built-in VCR player, stuff like that. My wife got rid of that stuff, thinking, hey, this is old, unusable electronics. We got big flat screen TVs now. What the hell do we need with this big, wide TV nowadays, etc. And think you go on like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something, and those same type TVs are selling for hundreds of dollars. I'm like, it's a 1980s TV. This is a 1990s TV. How the hell is it worth $300+? But although if I did become a TV collector, so to speak, there are these sort of TVs that I think were made in like 1980s that kind of look like spacesuits, like like a big bulb around the TV, so it looks like an astronaut's helmet or something. So like those type of TVs, I'd buy those because I think those are freaking cool as hell. All right, this is the straight bourbon whiskey, 115 proof. I was gonna save this for the end of the video, but let's give it a whirl. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god, my entire mouth and nose burns. Oh man. That definitely got my eyes watering. I wasn't joking though. It burnt the living hell out of my nose. And now I feel the flame starting to trickle down to my throat. Yeah. Let's not do that again. I think one per video and I'm good. Shit, I'm already drunk. I told you that crap was gonna do its job in no time. All right. Let's focus. Need a Whitey Vampire Blades Daywalker figure. Shoot. My wife, I think she told me that she was gonna buy a pumpkin. My little pumpkin pie. She said she was gonna buy like the sort of like orange. It looks like not a nightgown. It just looks like regular pajamas, but it's an oversized pumpkin. And then, for Halloween we could go out and she could be my pumpkin butt. To this day, I still call her that for the last 20 years. And I'm pretty sure some people think, hey, you're just being a freaking asshole, but no. At the time, this was 2005. We were in our first apartment together. It was probably around Halloween time, probably around October. And she had like these orange Victoria's Secret pajama pants on, jogger pants, whatever you want to call them. And they're orange. It's Halloween time frame. What is popular around Halloween? That's orange. Pumpkins. And my wife has this sexy, beautiful, round butt, man. So she became pumpkin butt to me. And I'm pretty sure she was offended when I first said it. But over the years, it's kind of become like, not tradition, but it's like one of those things it's a very endearing comment. It's not anything that she would ever take in a negative light. So, and she's like, you know what? She came across this pumpkin outfit on whatever website she was looking at. And she's like, I could go as your pumpkin butt for Halloween. And I'm like, that is so freaking awesome. Only my wife could sit there and think of some stuff like that. That is amazing. Man, I almost took another hit of that damn whiskey. I'm like, whoo, no. And then I had to see the energy drink and realize I took a sip of it already and that I won't be making that mistake again. All right. All right, where did we leave off? But yeah, that vampire, blade deal. The reason I went with the devil is because that was my exact look in 2014, right after I came home from Afghanistan with Bantech. It sucks being fired. They call it downsizing, but I know what it was. If you don't work for the company anymore and you didn't quit, you were fired. Those son of guns didn't give us any sort of severance pay or anything like that. So, if I walked out there with like a $200,000 severance pay, a $30,000 severance pay, something, hey, here's enough money to cover you for a month of worth of pay or something. All right, we'll call it downsizing. But if you go home with no job and really no expectation of losing your job anytime soon, you're pretty much fired. In my eyes, you're fired. So, and let's be honest, 2014, we all knew the military was not pulling out of Afghanistan in 2014. We all saw that. It was what, 7 years later, I think. I think 2021 was like the last of the drawdown in Afghanistan. But I'm sure there's still camps set up. I mean, I don't think that's going anywhere. I think Afghanistan is going to become like the next Korea or next Germany. It's not going to be a combat deployment. It's just going to be a regular deployment. And when you go to like Germany, I think you're there for like 3 years. Korea, I'm not sure. I've never been to Korea, so I don't know. I've never been to Germany either, but I would think that Korea would be at least a year minimum, of course. But I mean, are they like Germany where they go multiple years? Japan, Italy, stuff like that. Italy, I think, is maybe just Navy. I don't know if they have Army bases there. Japan, I'm pretty sure they have Army bases, or probably just Air Force bases that have Army soldiers. I don't know. Outside of combat deployments, I never went anywhere. So my 6 years in the Army were all spent at Fort Hood. Well, I say 6 years, but it wasn't a full 6 years. You got to throw basic training and AIT into that. So more like 5.5-ish, just under 5.5. Because my AIT was freaking long as hell. It's like 3 months long. Over 3 months. But yeah. But Blade, shoot. I mean, if I can get the right look going, I don't see why not. Look at this. My baby is bringing me my babies.
Hello. I interrupt your live to bring you some kittens.
You guys want to see the babies? We're going to need some help because we have no idea what to call them. Look at my first baby.
Hold her close so she doesn't cry. And then we have Mr. Sir. I'm so white.
Hold on. Let me have this one. So my wife wants to call these two Summer and Morty. So I'm just thinking, does this look like a Morty to you?
Uh-oh, see, we're big enough to climb out of our box now. No, we got to stay inside the box.
Yeah, but this one, he reminds me of my last cat, Persia. Okay, buddy. I got you, but thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Kiss. Thank you. Oh, don't get caught. Don't get caught. Y'all good?
Yes. Okay, time to go back. Velcro kitty with the Velcro nails. Okay. They wanted out, so I wanted to let them out.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can call the gray one Summer, but I don't know if I could deal with calling the white one Morty. That would, to me, would just sound super freaking weird. Oh man. Yeah, who'd have ever thought that? I would have found kittens though. That's crazy. That I was able to find them